You could say that Jamie Campbell Bower isn't exactly a stranger to the fantasy genre. Having starred in popular franchises like Twilight, Harry Potter, and The Mortal Instruments, this British actor has now added another heavyweight to that long list, Stranger Things, in which he plays the character of Peter Ballard, a suspiciously nice orderly who, well, I'm not going to ruin it for you this second, but needless to say, he's a secret key that unlocks this season in ways most viewers aren't necessarily going to expect. Jamie's had to keep this role under tight wraps for over 2 years now, having first earned the part right before the world went into lockdown. But instead of making things more difficult, this gave Jamie the time he needed to really dig into every aspect of his character in some truly creative ways you've got to hear about to believe. But before we dive into this, please remember to take a moment to like and subscribe to our channel. Alright, just who is this talented actor and where did he come from? You're about to discover his life story right here on Famous Life. Jamie Campbell Bower was born on November 22, 1988 in London, England. He grew up in Petersfield, Hampshire, and ever since he was a small child, Jamie had a love for performing. That probably has something to do with the fact his parents both work in the world of music. His father for the Gibson Guitar Corporation and his mother as a manager in the music industry. Being as artistically inclined as they both were, Jamie's parents picked up pretty quickly that their son was destined for the arts. He told Tribute, "My parents obviously realized I had this wish to be a performer, so they nurtured that side of me. I joined the local youth theater and got very heavily involved in every production until the age of 16. This desire to act led Jamie to attend the Bedales School, an institution known for its relaxed and bohemian-like atmosphere. That's where Jamie's love for literature was encouraged by an English teacher, and it's also where he became obsessed with movies as part of an after-school cinema club where he and his friends would make their own films. As a teenager, Jamie would attend the National Youth Music Theatre, which gave him a practical experience on the stage as well. At 15, he was cast in a Roger Waters opera titled Saira. That's when he fell so in love with the theater that he believed he was destined to become a West End musical star, but things wouldn't quite work out that way. Instead, at the age of 17, his mother introduced him to an acting agent. A few weeks later, Jamie was auditioning for a role in Tim Burton's Sweeney Todd, the demon barber of Fleet Street. In a sense, this was the perfect project for Jamie because it combined his love for film and musical theater. He landed the pivotal part of Anthony Hope and soon found himself on set opposite Johnny Depp and Helena Bonham Carter. It's a gig he still remembers fondly to this day. He told Tribute, "As a first gig, you can't go wrong. Johnny Depp and Tim Burton as a team were one of the reasons I love cinema. Edward Scissorhands was a pivotal film in my life. It was the moment I realized I wanted to be an actor." Unfortunately, after Sweeney Todd, things didn't exactly go according to plan. Believing he was destined for a long-lasting career, Jamie dropped out of school and hit the audition circuit. But he wouldn't wind up booking any of the gigs he gravitated towards, and his soul was crushed. After a small role in Guy Ritchie's Rock'n'Rolla and an appearance in a Dutch film entitled Winter in Wartime, Jamie's next big break wouldn't be until he was cast in the remake of the 1960s cult TV series The Prisoner. Afterwards, his career began to pick up steam once again. In 2009, he was cast as the vampire Caius in the Twilight saga New Moon. Next was a blink-and-you'll-miss-it cameo in Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 1, where he played a young version of the villainous Grindelwald. His next big project was starring as the legendary King Arthur in the Starz series Camelot, but it would only last one season. After a couple more years of searching, in 2013, Jamie finally began to earn some steady big screen minutes when he signed onto the Mortal Instruments franchise as Jace Wayland, a Shadowrunner. That's where he met Lily Collins and the two began an on-again, off-again relationship that lasted about 5 years before ending for good in 2018. This period of his life was particularly difficult for Jamie, and it's when he hit his deepest and darkest depths of addiction. Thankfully, he realized that he was going down a dangerous path and took the necessary steps to right his course. To take back control over his life, Jamie began meditation and breathing exercises to find his inner strength. He also learned to be more open and communicative with those closest to him. He understands that it's an ongoing battle and one he will never end, but he's in a better place now than he's ever been. He explained to Vanity Fair, "It's been 7.5 years now, this journey, and I wouldn't change it for the world, but it's a daily practice. I need to constantly remind myself that I'm not in charge." Well, now that he's got his personal life in order, Jamie's professional life is once again kicking into high gear. In the latter half of 2019, he was offered the opportunity to read for Stranger Things. He wasn't told much prior to the audition, only that his character would be an important part of the new season. While waiting on his chance to get in front of the producers, Jamie went a little crazy in his apartment. In fact, he took a picture of Will Byers and created what he refers to as a Claire Danes-esque from Homeland mind map of who he thought this character might be. When he finally presented this work to the series creators at his audition, they were blown away. Probably because Jamie had somehow subconsciously figured out exactly who his character was without them having told him. He told Variety, they were like, "This is literally perfect. This is everything you've gotten here is perfect. Your references are perfect. The inspiration is perfect." I think by that point they knew I wasn't insane. More than just that, they knew who he was. Well, perfect for the role of Peter Ballard, who is far more crucial to the main storyline of season 4 than he outright appears to be. Out of fear of spoilers, that's all I'm gonna say right now, but come on guys, it's been out for weeks, get on it. After booking the part, the world shut down thanks to the pandemic. This afforded Jamie the time to really dig into his character. He filled up his office space with posters, dolls, and post-it notes as visual references of who Peter really was. He then spent most of his day making notes and figuring things out. He also worked on overcoming a huge phobia of his, something that would play a major part in the new season: spiders. Having once heard a group of meditators who were given a rock to stare at for 20 minutes to fall in love with, Jamie did this exercise on his own, but his version included black widow spiders. He wound up traveling to an occult store in Atlanta, Georgia, and picking up a vial of black widows just so he could stare at them for hours. He says he even brought it to set with him and kept them in his pocket the entire time. And before you ask, no, he never specified if they were alive or dead in that vial. While Jamie's acting career is decidedly looking stronger than ever before, he's also been dabbling in music throughout these past few years. In fact, he's played in bands throughout most of his adult life. Most recently, he was the lead vocalist and guitarist of the London punk band Counterfeit. Unfortunately, the pandemic would result in this chapter of his musical career coming to an end, but now Jamie's ready to strike out on his own, and he's working on music that's ready to explore the darker side of life with solo work under his given name of Jamie Bauer. His newest single, Run On, is a cover of the song that was originally made famous by Odetta and Johnny Cash. Jamie's version is loosely based off of Dante's Inferno and the idea of the 9 circles of hell, which should give you some taste for just how dark he likes to take his music. He once said, "I like macabre stuff, I like the idea of mortality, I really enjoy pushing the limits of the human experience, seeing how far I can go and seeing what else is out there." After waxing poetic about the 9 circles of hell and portraying a man haunted by his family in Stranger Things, Jamie has definitely carved out a very specific lane for himself. But it's one that suits him well. Next, you'll find him in a film titled True Haunting, which will follow the story of a couple who purchased their first family home in Chicago, Illinois, only to find out it's haunted by the family who lived and died there before. It's based on the true story of the world's first televised exorcism that took place in 1971. And while Jamie can't say much about the upcoming final 2 episodes of season 4 of Stranger Things, he's willing to describe its energy as darker. Yeah, that sounds exactly on point for this guy. Alright, I hope you enjoyed this look into the famous life of Jamie Campbell Bower. Don't forget to let us know what you thought about his story down below and leave a few names for others you'd like to see us explore as well. Thanks for watching this video. Don't forget to subscribe to Famous Life and leave a comment for who you'd like us to feature next.